The airport was quieter than usual that night. Not completely silent. Airports never are, but softer somehow. The kind of quiet where footsteps echo a little longer, where announcements feel distant, like they belong to another world. It was just past midnight. Rows of seats stretched under dim golden lights. A few travelers slept awkwardly, heads tilted against backpacks. Others stared at their phones, scrolling without really seeing anything. And then, there was her. Evelyn Carter, 59 years old, sat by the window, a paper cup of coffee cooling in her hands. She hadn't taken a sip in over 20 minutes. Outside, the runway lights blinked steadily in the darkness, like distant signals no one was answering. She was supposed to be on a flight already, supposed to be halfway across the country by now on her way to visit her daughter in Seattle. But the flight had been delayed. 3 hours, they said. Evelyn didn't seem to mind. Because if she was honest, she wasn't in a hurry to arrive anywhere. Not anymore. She stared at her reflection in the glass, the faint lines around her eyes, the softness that had replaced the sharpness of youth, the quiet weight of years lived and things lost. 10 years since her divorce, 3 years since her mother passed, a lifetime of small goodbyes that somehow never got easier. She tightened her grip on the cup, then loosened it again. That's when she noticed him. 2 seats away, an older man, maybe early 60s, sitting with a small black suitcase by his side. His posture was straight but tired, the kind of tired that doesn't come from a long day, but from something heavier. His hands rested on his knees, and on his left hand, a wedding ring. Evelyn noticed that right away. Not because it was unusual, but because of the way he wore it. Not casually, not absent-mindedly, but like it still meant everything. He wasn't looking at his phone, wasn't reading, wasn't sleeping, just sitting there, staring ahead, like he was waiting for something that wasn't going to arrive. Evelyn looked away, then back again, then quickly down at her coffee. She wasn't the type to talk to strangers, not anymore, but something about the silence between them felt shared, heavy, but not uncomfortable, like 2 people sitting in the same kind of loneliness. Minutes passed, maybe more. Time moved differently in places like this. Then, without turning his head, the man spoke. Airports are strange places. His voice was calm, low, a little rough around the edges. Evelyn hesitated, then glanced over. I suppose they are, he nodded slightly. People always leaving something behind. She let out a soft breath, or someone. That made him look at her. Really look. And for a moment, neither of them said anything, but something had shifted, something small, but real. My name's Daniel, he said. Evelyn, a simple exchange, but it felt like opening a door. They started with small things. Where they were headed, how long the delay was. Complaints about airport coffee, the usual. But the usual didn't last long, because when you're 2 strangers in the middle of the night, with nothing but time and silence around you, sometimes the conversation finds its own way. Daniel leaned back slightly, exhaling. I wasn't supposed to be here tonight. Evelyn tilted her head. No? He shook his head. I was supposed to be home. There was a pause. Then he added quietly, but I didn't want to be. Evelyn didn't ask why, not right away. She just nodded, like she understood, because in her own way, she did. A few minutes later, he spoke again. My wife passed away last week. The words landed gently, but their weight was undeniable. Evelyn's fingers tightened around her cup. I'm so sorry. Daniel gave a small, almost imperceptible smile. 40 years, he said. 40 years together. He looked down at his hands. I don't really know what to do with that now. Evelyn swallowed. There wasn't a right response to something like that, so she didn't try to give one. Instead, she said softly, Tell me about her. And he did. He talked about how they met. A grocery store, of all places. He had dropped a jar of pasta sauce. It shattered on the floor. She laughed, helped him clean it up, and then never really left. He talked about their first apartment. Too small, too loud, but perfect. He talked about road trips, late-night arguments about nothing, the way she always sang in the car, off-key but full of joy, and as he spoke, something changed in his voice. It softened. Not with sadness, but with memory. Evelyn listened, really listened, not interrupting, not checking the time, just there. And when he finished, the silence that followed wasn't empty. It was full of everything he had shared. After a while, he looked at her. What about you? Evelyn hesitated, then gave a small shrug. Nothing quite as beautiful. I doubt that. She let out a quiet laugh. I was married, she said, for 22 years. Daniel nodded. What happened? She thought about it, then said simply, we stopped choosing each other. He didn't respond right away, because he understood. That happens, he said, more often than people admit. Evelyn nodded. We didn't fight much, she added. No big explosion, no dramatic ending. She looked down at her hands. Just silence. Daniel leaned forward slightly. Sometimes silence is louder than anything else. She met his eyes. Yeah. They sat there for a while after that, talking about children, about regrets, about the strange way life turns out. They talked about things they had never said out loud before. Not to friends, not to family, because sometimes it's easier to tell the truth to a stranger, someone who doesn't expect anything from you, someone who won't carry your story into your everyday life. Hours passed. The airport grew quieter, then slowly began to wake again. Early morning travelers started to appear. The world was moving forward, and eventually, reality caught up. A voice echoed through the terminal. Final call for boarding. Evelyn's heart skipped. She glanced at the screen. Her flight. Daniel looked up too. His flight. Same gate, different directions. They both stood, slowly, neither of them rushing. Evelyn picked up her bag. Daniel reached for his suitcase. They faced each other, and suddenly, all the words they had shared felt very far away, replaced by something simpler, more fragile. Well, Evelyn said softly. Daniel nodded. Well? She forced a small smile. Take care, Daniel. You too, Evelyn. A pause, the kind that stretches just a little too long. Then they turned, took a step, and stopped, both of them, at the same time. Another announcement echoed, sharper this time. More urgent. But neither of them moved. Seconds passed, then a full minute. Evelyn let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. Then she laughed, soft, surprised. I guess I can take the next flight. Daniel turned back toward her, really looking this time, not as a stranger, but as someone who mattered. Me too, he said. No grand gesture, no dramatic music, no declarations of love, just a choice, a quiet, simple choice, to stay. They sat back down, side by side. The announcements faded into the background. Time slowed again. And for the first time in a long time, neither of them felt like they were waiting for something. Because sometimes, the most important moments in life don't come with perfect timing. They don't arrive when everything is planned. They don't ask for permission. They happen spontaneously, in the middle of the night, in a quiet airport, between two people who weren't looking for anything, and yet found something anyway. Not a promise, not a future, not even a name for what it was, just a connection, real, honest, alive. And sometimes, that's more than enough. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not say goodbye, but choose to stay.